Hello everyone, Larcenies is here, and welcome to the final basic training in Yugioh. Today we're going to show you how XYZs and links are formed and what they can do. So I hope you guys really check this out. If you guys want to see more advanced decks or see how all decks work, like specific deck types, you gotta let me know in the comments below. But for now, let's just start off with the Xyz, and then from there we'll go for links. Alright, so let's learn Xyz. Xyz, like synchros, require levels, but the difference between Xyz and synchros is that you can't add them up. You need two of the same level type monsters. So that means you need two level 4s to summon one level 4, two level 5s to level 5, and so on and so forth. When you summon your Xyz, it's different like synchros. Synchros, when you synchro summon, the two monsters you use to synchro summon go in the graveyard. When you XYZ summon, those two monsters actually go inside the cards, and that's what's called materials. When they have materials in them, that's when they can normally do their effects. And depending on the XYZ you summon, it could do different effects. So it'll say detach one material to do this, or detach two materials and do this. So every Xyz is different and unique in their own way. And they're very powerful. They mostly hit stun decks or one-hit KOs, and depending, sometimes they're combo pieces, but they're very powerful. But the only problem is they're easy to stop because they need to detach to do the effects, unlike synchros where you just do the effects naturally. Alright, so let me show you this deck. This deck is not that strong. It's not the strongest deck alive. It's just fun. It's more of a fun deck, and I like it. I like Time Thief. It's not that good. I wish it was stronger, but it's not up to me. It's up to the Yu-Gi-Ohs. But like I said, you need two of the same level monsters. So right now I have two level 4s on the field as I set up, and right with this I can actually just do I can summon pretty much any card I want in this facility. So I'm gonna show you the options I have right now as I set up my back row. So I can summon any of these 5 or 6 cards. So I can summon any of these. And so every card has a different thing. So some cards have effects that when it's summoned does this, but most of the cards you have to detach to do whatever effect it needs to do. And it'll say whatever effect it does in the below. So it'll say detach to do this, summon to do this. If it some are very specific. If it has this type of monster like Pyro, Warrior, negate, can stop these type of cards. So it all depends on the Xyz. So when you summon it, like I said, you use both these cards and then you summon them, and you see how those two monsters I just summoned. Give me a second while I search my card. Just reading what this card does, and I really forget. I forget mostly what every card does. I just pretty much grab and go with me. But as you see, the cards that I just used to summon that one Xyz didn't go to the graveyard. They're inside that Xyz itself. So I could use it to detach, and it'll go to the graveyard. But until I detach, they'll stay inside the card, which is good and bad. Like I said, this is why Xyz are easy to stop, because the minute I detach, the opponent, if you're fighting actually someone online, they gotta actually know you're doing your effect. So once you detach, then that's when you say, hey, look, I'm about to throw this guy in the graveyard and then do my effect. And then that's when people normally stop you with like a Appearance or Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler. Depends on what the card does. Sometimes they'll let you go if the card's not that great. But that's mostly how you summon Xyz. Like I said, they all vary in strength and vary in effects. Some are very strong and require like a lot of monsters to do certain effects. Some are very weak, but they're mostly for combo pieces. But depending on what your deck does is what you use. Most people don't really run XYZ decks fully. They usually run them on the side. Not a lot of people run pure XYZ. That's like I said, they're strong. They're easy to stop. But if you don't stop them, they're very, very powerful, and they can end duels really easy. Let me show you like an end field. Hopefully I have one. So this is more or less a Xyz full field right here. It's not that strong, this field right here. Like if I was actually finding someone online, I'll be dead. But since it's a computer, luckily I could get away with murder. But like I said, this deck is not that strong. So I say that out loud. It's not that strong. But if you had a strong Xyz deck, this guy would be toasted. Like they're very, very powerful once they get going. It's just they need to start getting going. That's the problem. It's one of the hardest decks to start ramping up. But once it ramps up, it's really good. It's just easy to stop and easy to not get combo pieces. So that's the one thing about Xyz. But let's learn Link. Alright, so here's the last one, links. Links are very combo friendly and they're very strong and they're very fun to use. Like I said, once you understand links and how they work, they're they're very fun. The links are probably one of my favorite decks to use. Period. Now this is called the Cold Tucker deck. This is a full link deck. You actually can make this deck with the structured deck, but I'll go into that in more detail later. But this is links. Now how does links work? Normally, unlike synchros, unlike Xyz, they don't require levels. They just require the monsters itself. Now depending on the deck, they might need specific types to summon the monsters. This one is all the same type, so don't worry about that. So how links work? So you go from level 1 to level 2. So you summon one monster, you link it, you'll link it to a level 1 monster like this. And then normally the way links work is that they combo from each other, so once you link once, you could just link multiple times. So once you go from level 1, then you go for level 2. Level 2, you need 2 monsters. So you take the link 1 and then you take another monster and you make it 2. Then depending on the deck, like I said, all decks are different, you could go for 3. But you don't need 3 monsters for level 3. You could take the level 2 and 1 extra monster and then it'll kind of form a 3. They'll add up. And then the same will go for 4. So take 3 and the extra monster and it'll make a 4. But then that's when it stops. Once you make 4, you can't go 4 and an extra monster to make 5. You can't do that. The way links works, once you go higher than 3, they stop adding up and then they just reset to 1. So you have to be careful. That's the learning curve of links. You can combo like crazy, but once you go for level 4 cards like these, you can't go any higher. You can go higher, but you can't use them you could use them as a link, but you have to use multiple monsters. You can't just use this and 1 extra card. You got to use this and extra other cards to do 1 extra monster. So that's the learning curve with links, and it's easy to kind of forget that sometimes when you're going crazy. But let me show you more gameplay in the combo pieces you can do. Alright, let me show you links. Keep in mind, all links are different. Most links are very combo friendly. Some are stun based, some are specific, but I'm just going to show you a little quick combo. I'm not going to go into details of what I'm doing, but this is a link based deck. Keep in mind, this deck I'm using, you can make on your own with a structured deck. You won't have all the cards I have, but you have majority, which is still good. You can build from there. That's a good foundation. But with links, all you need is 1 card normally, depending on the deck how it runs. Then you link. So you link right here. Then you send the 1 card that you summon. You send it, and then you link your card. Now all link cards go on top right here, where this little guy is going. And why is that important? Is because links, they all have arrows. Now every link is different. Every link is gonna point different ways. Some point towards your opponent, some point towards you, and that matters. Why? Because even when your opponent links, if he's not paying attention, he'll actually summon the link where you're pointed to. So you gotta pay attention to with links. You gotta be careful how you link, because if you're not on top, it can kind of stop your combos. But anyway, let me show you what I mean by it needs to be pointed to where it goes. So like I said, links are very combo friendly. As I keep going, I'm just gonna keep going crazy. This deck doesn't slow down. It ramps up, and this is why when I said earlier that Maxi kills certain decks. Like Maxi will just ruin me right now. I would have to stop. But like I said, fighting computer, so this doesn't run Maxi. Luckily, if it did, I would be in serious trouble. But this is how normally links decks go. Like, see, I have 2 monsters right now, so I can actually go for a level 4 if I wanted to, with these 2 monsters alone, because one's a level 3, one's a level 4, and they link up to 4. Now I'm not gonna do that because I have more better combo pieces. But if I had no more cards in my hand, if I just didn't have any more combo plays, I could just stop right there and I could go for a broken card like this, or I could go for something completely different. But like I said, I have more combo pieces, so I want to go for a stronger combo. Now you see how it didn't give me no option to summon it but anywhere but above the robot on top. That's why I say you got to pay attention to where you point to. Now when you link summon, you have to point, they have to go where they point to. They just have to. That's the way it is. That's the rule. That's kind of like the unspoken rule of links. It just goes where it points to, period. Like you can't change that, unfortunately. And if you were to link higher, you have to sometimes use the link, a specific link that's pointed somewhere else, as a link monster. Like I said, this is why links is kind of like the hardest ones to learn, because it's kind of like trial and error of like where they go and how the placements are. But once you understand more or less how links are, they just become very broken, and you can have a extremely strong end turn. So let me show you like a quick little end phase, so that way you can see how more or less they are. So this is more or less an end field. Now, it's not as much as fusions, granted, but this link card right here I'm about to summon just looks beautiful. By the way, I'm just gonna end the duel with him because he's just too strong to stop. And that's the thing about links. Once you get to the higher monsters, they're very, very powerful. They do some super annoying effects, and they're very combo friendly. And that's the beautiful thing about links. They're so easy to use once you understand how they work. They're so powerful. Like, look at this. He's just done. This computer has nothing to do. And if I was fighting a regular person, I think he probably would have surrendered by now, because I just have a good field, and he's not gonna be able to stop me. But that's more for links. Alright, so your basic training is over. I really hope it helps. I hope these videos really helped you learn how to play. Like I said, then go specific deck types. If you guys want to know how to use specific decks, you gotta let me know in the comments below. I'm just trying to show you how to summon the cards themselves, and maybe you could just have fun with trial and error. Some of these decks are in the structure decks, so keep that in mind. So check them out. They have links, and they have synchro. So have fun, see what they have, and maybe experiment. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoy what you see. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And keep in mind, I post every single day. Till then, guys, I hope to see you next time.